Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's begin with a question that what would it be that you could build an operating system in less than 12 hours with like around $1,000, just $1,000. That includes the APIs and other things. Well, this is not just a statement said by me, but it has been said by the IO summit. That was like it was said in that IO summit in by Google, in which it announced key initiatives such as the launches such as the Google 3.5 Flash model, and the most popular one that is making the video on that is of the Antigravity 2.0, its new version. So, if we talk about Google Anti-Gravity 2.0, this is agent. It's an agentic AI. So, if we talk about it, so it is the second version of it. It was launched in on like 19th May 2026, like just 10 days before I'm making this video. And also, its first version was launched in November 2025. Like this, as you're seeing the slide, so Google Anti-Gravity 2.0, the agent first paradigm, strategic evaluation framework for the May 2026 release. So I have told you the introduction. Now let's deep dive. Like yeah. So as I was telling you that story, not story, like the statement that I told in the beginning, that was not just a statement, but it actually happened in front of many people. The 12-hour, like there were 93, as you can see the data, there were 93 parallel sub-agents that were deployed, and over 2.6 billion tokens was processed. And that if you talk about the economics, that less than 1000 total API cost was there. So let's break it down one by one. So if we talk about the scale, 93 parallel sub-agents were deployed. So the sub-agents, like first we have to talk about the agents. Agents are something that provide real-time data. Like they are a training model to if you are training to someone. So like ChatGPT, for example, the OpenAI ChatGPT. So that ChatGPT is like it works on LLM, large language models. So it has been trained over like a period of years, and the past data are collected in that. It's a library, but agents work here as a real-time data giver. So if there is any event or there is any situation that is happening, so that real-time data will be given to the that data will be given by the agents. So there were 93 total sub-agents that were deployed. If we talk about the tokens that was processed, so it was 2.6 billion tokens that was processed, which is huge in amount. And that tokens was for like the answers that you are giving, that the AI breaks it into tokens. So if you have watched about how AI works, so you must have been taught about what are tokens. Now, if we talk about economics, this is very good. So it has been like calculated less than $1,000 total cost. That was APIs. So APIs again, that gives they work like agents, but like there are some difference between them. So if we talk about the grade split, like here we talk about the different shifts that are there. The version 1 that was there, anti-gravity 1.0. So it was the editor first, AI as an assistant. So there were like the evaluation that was there. So four evaluations are there: core philosophy, the architecture, execution model, and the code editor. If we talk about core philosophy, the editor first, AI as an assistant. So in Anti-Gravity 1.0, the this was working as an assistant, and while the Anti-Gravity 2.0, it was orchestration first, AI as an executor. So AI will execute all the things. And if we talk about the architecture, so it was single IDE and like slash the Weird's code fork, while the architecture for the Antigravity 2.0 second version is the standalone app plus CLI plus SDK. So, like for the execution model, the sequential, it was prompt by prompt, which was very slow, and like it was token and both token and time consuming. While the anti-gravity 2.0 was parallel, you can edit it anytime that was there, and it was autonomous, fully autonomous. And this is the feature that I like the most. It was the code editor was built in central, like it was built in and central, and the code editor like it removed the entire like thing, the editor. So it was editing by itself. So if we go on the next slide, so here is the four-part ecosystem architecture, and this is the desktop app. So this is a standalone orchestration hub and visual verification loop. We'll talk about that in the next slide. And voice transcription and scheduling, it was included in the desktop app. So this anti-gravity is an app which you can download for Mac, Windows, and Linux. If we talk about anti-gravity CLI is also there, and it has its like own databases and like that. Anti-gravity SDK, these are all managed agents which are API. So there's a serverless deployment via API. They are built in Bash, search and file systems, and pay-per-use scaling. Now, how this whole thing works. So, if we talk about the user prompt, we give the user gives the prompt which is as an input. Now, the Sentinel, like it supervises the prompt that you have given, and but it never writes the code or like gives the action. While the orchestrator, like it decomposes the requirements, it breaks down the requirements that are there, and like it uses self succession and handoff files to bypass the context limit. And this again further divides into sub units, that the sub agents that was there. Explorer, so the explorer does the strategy. All the strategy maintaining is done by the explorer. The worker builds, like it generates the code and builds the whole system. Reviewer, like it designs and like corrects the whole code that was there and makes any changes that are required. While the critic, like it adversarial stress test that was there. This whole thing then goes after the all the filtration, it goes to the auditor, where they go under strict checking and LLM laziness before like being processed, and we get as the final output as that website, for example, that we are building. The visual verification loop, yeah. So in this, it like such as Claude and the Codex of AI, these were two giants that were like dominating, but this feature, like it is more relevant to Claude. So in this code generation was there. So the AI generates the code and it writes in HTML, CSS, etc. And then it goes to local deployment. After local deployment, it goes to the visual capture, where it is embedded in Chromium navigates, and click flows, captures, viewports, and screenshots are there. Now the Gemini 3.5 Flash is the best model I can say, because it is very fast, like 12 times faster than the Google models that are there. And this uses this, and what is the thing that you get up to like four models for free in the Pro plan of it. So in Gemini 3.5 Flash, you can it compares the visual DOM and against the design spaces. After that, it self corrects itself, and this whole loop like revives again until the whole thing like it is processed and like that. Next is the 2026 AI coding landscape. So there are four code writing platforms in which we have included Antigravity 2.0, Cloud Code, Cursor version 2.5, and GitHub Copilot. There are the four criterias that are there. In base of architecture, Anti-Gravity 2.0 has the standard is a standalone app, while Cloud Code is a terminal which is native. Cursor is the IDE, VS Code fork, and GitHub Copilot is an IDE extension. Core superpower like those are there. Reasoning engine, so it uses Gemini 3.5 Flash. Claude uses Claude Opus 4.7. Cursor uses user's choice, it is multimodal, and proprietary multimodal for GitHub Copilot. So Anti-Gravity 2.0 is best for the greenfield and prototyping, while the Cloud Code is used for complex legacy code bases maintenance, and Cursor is for senior devs, developers wanting direct control, like they want the direct control for the code that is there. And GitHub Copilot, as you can see. Let's come to the conclusion, synthesis, the philosophical divide. So, in block one, the core shift is there. The AI tool market is no longer competing on features, it is competing how developers should work. This is the most important line that developers should know. The takeaway is that the Anti-Gravity 2.0 asserts that the code editor is becoming secondary. For greenfield projects and rapid execution, the future belongs to developers who master directing autonomous agents rather than writing the lines themselves. This in turn leads to the developers who are taking the code and they are reviewing it. So that review is also not available as the AI is doing itself. The AI is rendering itself. And the block 3, which is final recommendation, adopt anti-gravity for today for prototyping and maintain cursor cloud for complex legacy, and prepare your teams for orchestration files like that. And after that, if we include some features here, so one of the features I have personally tried it. So that features include the features that are there, such as the employ one that I like the most, and there was one more. So in employ one, there was a thing we in which you assign a project to it, and if you are not available in that time period, so in that time period, that AI will do at that given time period that you do. For example, if you are building a website, that website will be if you don't have time, like your time ended, so you can assign it to the AI, and the AI will work based on that. And every day, for example, you set it at 9 a.m., so every day at 9 a.m. they will the AI will work automatically without your interference, and when you wake up you find your project ready. Thanks, while keep this in mind. And you can sign up for free, it is completely free. And sign up today, it's very good. Thank you.